Hey, everybody, welcome to Hold the Mic. We are your hosts, Ryan and Ian. Brother, how are you doing this week?
What's good, baby?
I'm good.
Ooh, I've
I
been
guess
I've
I,
been
sh-
stewing. I've
I
been
guess,
stewing for a week.
yeah. I guess I shouldn't have left that up on the screen. That's going to go into what we're doing. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. I got ratioed by a racist like 18-year-old, so that was an interesting experience today.
You got attacked by a baby Karen. Ooh, man, they just getting younger and younger, aren't
she
they?
called she called me an atomic fag. That was
Oh
what she called me, and
God.
she ratioed the shit out of me with that comment.
Well,
So
you know what? Happy Pride. You know what I mean? She at least is sticking with the
oh
month.
yeah. Oh, the emails I got were good too. I
Oh,
should show you those. But
Jesus.
no, guys, I'm gonna try very hard not to cuss this episode. Again, I have a sign in front of me. Ian said I should actually show you the sign.
Yes, man. Put it on
Um,
there. Put yourself out there. Put it on
and just a
blast.
friendly reminder, if you're watching us, whatever platform you are watching us on, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We much appreciate it. We love spending our Fridays with you. So thanks
We
for
just want
always
to get
being
in some
awesome.
shenanigans, man.
But
We
yeah,
want to get in
this
some
is
shenanigans
my
with you.
current view right here. So I got no cussing, and don't forget the foam to cut out the echoing.
Yes. Oh, I love you.
But
Gotta
while
love
I've
you.
got this up, I did want to, we're going to start on a couple personal messages and some drop news that I was just getting as we got on. And one of the things I just found out was we had a detective here in Arizona named Ryan So, who lost his life on the job yesterday. He had a
Damn.
wife and a couple of kids, so kids aren't supposed to lose their fathers, and it's Father's Day weekend. So, just kind of hit close to home. Um, you,
It's
you
always the good
know,
ones, man.
it is, man. It seems like it's always the ones that shouldn't, but that leads me into my next thing. If you followed me for the year, over the last 4 or 5 years, then I'm definitely critical when law enforcement gets it wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're never going to hear me say that being a cop is easy, that being in law enforcement is easy. It's not, and it's dangerous. And this was a very stark reminder of that today. So I just wanted to say, that here on this show, we're sending our prayers and thoughts and everything to his wife and kids and loved ones, and just thank him for his service and may he rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Damn.
Yeah, that one sucked. It's just anytime we lose, somebody in the military, a soldier, an officer, and they're just doing their job. That's
Right.
always that's always a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
firefighters, anybody who's in that in the protect and serve,
firefighters,
you know,
yep, first
EMS,
responders,
anybody who's first responder. That's it.
yep,
That's it. That's
yeah.
so
I'm
tragic.
glad you added that. Yeah. So with that, I wanted to start with a couple personal things before we got into it. So Ian, just sit back, relax, hang on a second. No, but seriously, interject if you want to. I'm just bullshitting, but
No, what's good, man? What's
um,
on your chest?
I wanted to start with a personal message, and that is, Ian called me after the show last week and said that during one of my rants that I had said some things that were out of character for me, and you know, luckily I was in the right headspace to take that in and let it marinate and just say, you challenged me to be better, which I appreciated, and the constructive criticism is always welcome. I'm not out here to, I think my platform speaks for itself that I'm not purposely out here trying to hurt anybody, in any of these communities. But that said, when I'm going on my little Ryan rants, they are all off the cuff. So every once in a while, something comes out that I wish hadn't. And I think that last week was probably a good example of that. So I just wanted to apologize to anybody that I may have offended uh, with my insensitive comments as I was ranting, because that's not my intention. That's not the intention of any of the shows that I do. So, and I just wanted to thank you for calling me and setting me straight too.
Oh man, well that first off, not my position, but happy to do so. Let me tell you, because Kaylin be jumping both of us. But big shout out to Kaylin,
Yes, shout out to
um,
Caleb.
and all of you who showed up today. Ryan, I think you're an amazing, immaculate human being, and there's a part where I think we all saw, um, some of the worst, bottom of the barrel people coming at you last week,
Yeah,
and that's not a good healthy place to be at, and I could see how that would put you in a position. I just there was that moment where we've talked about in the past shows that, when they go low, we just got to keep it a little bit higher. That was one of those moments, I think, where it's like, you know what? Don't let
Yeah,
them drag you down. Don't let them drag you down.
yeah, but
And even,
I went back and watched it too, and
yeah,
I could see where like what you were talking about. I
yeah.
could see right where you said like you should have stopped right there, and I saw it. Like it was like okay, yep, you're right. I should should have
Hey,
stopped
man,
while I was
sometimes you want
ahead.
to keep double dutching, even though you're tired. You
You
still want to
know,
do it.
it is, and also just going back to if you didn't catch last week's episode, somebody called my wife live, like why we were on the air, and that was just a first. Like I've developed a thick skin to the attacks on me and things like that. But when you start showing up
Yeah,
in my neighborhood, releasing our home address, like my kids have protective orders on a stalker already through the court here in Pima County.
yeah.
It's like it's just insane. So that was another first that you guys kind of unfortunately got to witness firsthand. And
And
yeah,
tragically, I'm glad because I want people to see what your life is like.
I am too. But at the same time, like you said, I wish I had handled it just a little bit better. I wish I'd cut it off just a little bit sooner. But
Hindsight, player,
hindsight's
hindsight.
2020 always.
That's a real reality right now. Let someone come in on the mic right now. Where you at?
Yeah,
Where you
yeah.
at? You know what I mean?
So and I also wanted to. This is kind of a little health update, but also because I know the trolls are just freaking ridiculous right now. So you may
Yeah.
notice I have a little mark on my face. I had to go to the dermatologist yesterday, and they removed a little growth that I had. It's probably going to come back as nothing, but um, I did find out that I have Lynch syndrome. So again, if you've been following me for years, then you know I have a genetic condition that causes cancer in the colon, kidneys, and bladder. And this is what my father passed away from at 57.
Yeah.
So I always just thought about, okay, I have to watch my colon and all this stuff. So I'm talking to the dermatologist, and I don't remember what made me mention it, but I said, yeah, I have Lynch syndrome. I always wonder if maybe it could be related. She literally stopped, turns around, looks at me. She goes, yeah, absolutely. And she starts telling me about how the same growth that I would get in my colon could happen on my skin and my face. So then she's
Mm.
like, okay, now you need to come back in for a full body. We need to look at everything and just make sure. And I was like, no shit. So like it got me thinking. I'm like, yeah, there's two other spots that maybe I need to go get looked at now. So
And
it was really serendipitous or whatever you want to call it. Just good luck that I mentioned it, and it made her connect all the dots. So now I know something else I have to do.
just do me a
Um,
favor when you're lying naked on that table. When they touch you in a certain spot, man, just go "Meh," and just give her that little buzzer.
I was
Just
gonna
be
do
that.
the
Be
Elmo
that.
the Elmo to the.
No. If you can get that high, then you had a different procedure. You had a different procedure, my brother. That's all I gotta say to you.
But
I want to get that buzzer. That's what I want.
but with that said, I want to end it with I think it's a good reminder for us to all go get our checkups.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
42. I've had two back surgeries on 4 levels of my spine, my colon taken out, like shit getting cut off my face. Like it getting our checkups save lives.
Yeah.
I always tell the story. My dad, he waited so long the first time that he had a softball-sized tumor in his colon,
Damn.
and he had been having issues for a long time. But he grew up in that
It's a different generation, man. It's a different
different
era.
generation. Like, oh,
Yeah.
my stomach hurts a little bit. Well, I'm still
Yeah.
going to work. Like
Put some
that
testing
was
on it. Put some
yeah,
testing on it.
exactly. It was my dad's mentality, and unfortunately, it's a mentality that doesn't serve you well
No.
medically.
No. Like a
So
Bob Marley. Same thing.
same thing,
No.
freaking birthmark on a toe and
Yeah.
take you out. So
Wow.
it's just a good reminder. Get your checkups, no matter what it is. And also, if you have something in your family that you think might be genetic, like I said, colon cancer in my family, we can trace it back to my great grandmother. So if you have something like you see women in your family and you've got several in your family tree that have had breast cancer, there's probably a good chance that it might be a genetic marker in your family that you can, narrow down, and then you figure out how to treat it. And it helps you figure out when you need to start, your checks and all that stuff. Like I started
Yes.
getting my colonoscopies at 25 because of this. So, if you have anything like that in your family, don't hesitate to go talk to a geneticist. It may be worth a couple bucks to go get some blood work done and see if you have any of these markers, because you never know. It saved my life. I tell people that my dad saved my life 12 years after he died, because he's the one that set our family up with all this information on what
Yeah.
Lynch syndrome was. And now, because of that, I've stored my kids' cord blood and tissue, so that if they ever need, deal with any of this, they're going to have their own stem cells, like the best source of stem
That's
cells
amazing.
possible.
That's amazing.
And my dad is the reason that we've been able to set that all up. So get your checkups. Don't hesitate to talk to a geneticist, because you never know. Could save your life. And with that, I also wanted to address. I've been getting fat shamed a lot over the last few weeks.
What?
Surprisingly, never thought
What?
that. Yeah, I never thought I'd get fat shamed, honestly. But um, I I thought back to what we were talking about last week,
Yeah.
and with it being Pride Month, it's also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes.
And so I think that this is a good thing to talk about. Not just because I want to respond to the trolls, but because this is part of talking about what I deal with. You know, when I talk about being bipolar, when I talk about being on the medication, there are side effects that come with that. And sometimes we have to choose 20 pounds, or do we want to be stable? And a lot of us
You want a
choose.
six pack and acting crazy? Is that what we're
Yeah,
talking about?
exactly. If I'm skinny and acting like a weirdo, it's not going to matter, right?
I saw
We're not
Ryan
going to have
climbing a
this
tree last
podcast
night.
very long, that's for sure. you know. So with that, if you've been following me for a while, back towards the end of last year, I was really struggling again, and it took me a few months to figure out what was going on. And what all it was that I needed to switch up my meds. And luckily, I'd kind of figured it, and Jen kind of figured it out too. Like, we were talking, and we kind of both came up to the conclusion, like, it's been a while since you had your meds, changed, or the dosages changed. So I go in and I talk to the family practice doctor, and he's like, yeah, let's change up your meds. He goes, I want to change this one up. And so the biggest side effect of it is two things. One, if you've watched the podcast, you'll notice that I'll start talking about a topic, and I lose my place. That's actually part of my meds. It's just something that I deal with. It's not. It's just like when your brain's trying to move too fast,
Yeah.
and it's like, and you'll just lose your place, and then you can't find it. I don't know how else to explain it. It's
And
weird.
that's not age. That's the meds.
No, it's the meds.
Okay.
Like yeah.
Trying to give you an out. I'm trying to give you that one.
No, I appreciate that, but
My mind's slipping these days. That's all.
yeah. Wait till the old age kicks in. Crap. But it's the reason I want to talk about it, though, is because the people that will shame you for the side effects of the medication that you're on to keep you stable really don't care if you live or die.
No.
That's a sad reality. They literally don't care if you live or die. So don't listen to them. If you put on 15, 20 pounds, so what? You're here. And
Hey, that shit's cute. I'm telling you right now, that shit's cute.
my wife likes it.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
All right.
but it's the thing is, a lot of these people, they're just horrible people. They're just looking to make somebody else feel bad. But the one thing that I feel very comfortable saying is that I know that that the majority of people on social media would much rather see my fat ass,
Right.
around their pages than be posting rest in peace memorials. So
100%, man.
I'm gonna keep
100%.
eating. I'm gonna keep taking my meds, and if I can get this under control, great. If I can't, I'm stable. I'm happy. My family's good, and those are the real important things.
Let me ask you something. For mental health month, what is there? And you don't have to you don't have to deep dive too much if you don't want to.
What haven't I shared, bro?
Hey, that's A. We've stopped you a couple times. All right, we've stopped you, so it's all
Fair,
right.
yes, you have.
We got bumper bowling over here. Is how frequent since you've been diagnosed do you have to do change, or is it one of those things every year you kind of just reassess your situation and then you jump in and you're like, okay, we're gonna test this out? Is it a lot of just kind of plug and play, like let's just see how this week goes, or this month?
That's a great question. So before we found the right meds, so before we got on the right diagnosis, it was kind of like that. It was like plug and play.
Okay.
Okay, that doesn't seem to be working. Let's try something else. Okay, now you're having a side effect. Like the biggest thing before we got the right diagnosis was I would still have really bad anxiety. So like the depression seemed to be kind of under control, but the
Hmm.
anxiety went up. So then it was like, okay, well now we need to put him on Klonopin, to balance out the anxiety. So it was just like, holy crap, I'm taking meds to balance out, side effects to, like this doesn't feel right. And so when we finally got the right meds, and that's the kicker, and that's why I'm glad you asked this question.
Yeah.
So I was diagnosed correctly in August of 2018,
Okay.
and I was put on that first regimen of medications that worked in August of 2018, and I had not changed anything, the dosages, nothing, in until I think it was December. I think you can go back and look at my videos. You can definitely see like my skin, my face was skinnier.
Just see.
No,
Oh,
seriously.
I see. I see.
You can you
It's
can go
wild.
see. I can if I tell you the date. I'll tell you the date that I started taking those meds, and you go look. And about a month after I start taking them, you can see me start putting on the weight.
Physical.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
it's
I told you I
crazy.
did a deep dive of looking at some of your past shows for the last like 3
Yeah,
years, and I was really amazed to see you. So much Ryan, so
yeah.
much Ryan in my life.
So much Ryan.
It's like it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's just it's one of those things that I don't I expect to get roasted. Like I'm not horribly mad. You guys want to call me fat? Yeah, I'll put on some weight. That's cool. But I asked for it online.
Well, just
It,
make it funny. Like, come on.
yeah, at least make it
Yeah,
funny.
that's all I
But
need. If you're gonna roast me,
oh,
make me laugh.
you're a fat fag. Oh, geez, please stop. I haven't heard that
Yeah,
one since junior high.
yeah.
Like somebody called me Dumbo. I was like, bro, that was like fifth grade for real. Like,
Take it back though.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like take it back though.
Back to the
Say that
swing,
shit.
boy.
Say that shit to my face. I'll meet you at the flagpole.
Speaking of, happy Flag Day. Special shout out
Ah.
to Alito. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
We
God.
salute you.
Shout out to Alito for Flag Day. We salute you. I like that. I like that.
So that's where we're at right now.
But
Also, a special shout out to my uncle. I see Big Unc is over here. What's up, Barrett?
oh shit.
He's a big fan. He's a big fan, man. He's been checking it out.
Oh
He's
nice.
been hitting me up. I don't know if he's posted up at the landing, but my man has this beautiful place right on Lake Huron,
Oh
the
nice.
landing, and he'll tell me, he's like, Ian, I enjoyed the show. You guys are killing it. I'm like, oh, he's having a blast. I already know he's
Dude,
having a blast.
you know
Big shout
what?
out, Big Unc. I
Yeah,
see you.
thanks for the support. It's funny, man, because everybody that watches it says the same thing. They're
You
like,
guys are trash. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Can you stop posting that on my Facebook? Uh, but no, like everybody says the same thing. Like there's clearly something. Like
Yeah.
they may not be able to put their finger on it, but they're like, yeah, you two, the way you guys go back and forth, and the way, But like I tell everybody, I'm like, while a lot of it, I would say 80% of it came natural.
Yeah.
There was still some of it where I felt like, you've worked hard to just try to figure out how to manage me. And what I mean by that is, you know, any relationship is, especially when you have a friendship that branches off into a business type relationship.
Yeah.
You have to manage each other. You have to manage that relationship. And I feel like you've done such a great job just being like, okay, there's certain things that I need to, I just need to tap dance around him sometimes. And I know when those times are, like you can tell. And it just makes having a business relationship so much better because it's even like, I feel like if it got to the point where we had to, you'd be like, you know what, man, we're gonna hang up now. We'll talk tomorrow, and that'll be that.
And
And
I love you.
and I love you.
And
And
then you hang up.
and not
Click.
every relationship is like that. And
No.
I think if you're going to have a business relationship, you have to learn about each other and learn how to work with each other. And while having a friendship does a lot of that work for you,
Yeah.
there's still things that, when you start getting into a business arena,
Mhm.
there's still things you find out about each other. You're like, oh
Oh,
shit,
absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I don't mean that in a bad
I
way
didn't
with
see
you,
that
but
coming.
yeah, exactly. Sometimes you get hit, you're like, oh, didn't
There is
didn't
an episode. I will tell you this. You guys can look back at one of these episodes. There's a moment I looked at Ryan. I was like, oh, hey. I was like, there's a moment that was in one of ours. And
what
I was
really?
like, There's an episode where I was like, you caught me off guard, and I was like, don't go there.
Oh, I don't remember.
Go back in some of these past episodes, man. It's like,
See, you gotta screen
yeah.
you gotta screen record those.
Oh
so
man, it's one
we
of
can
those
share
things.
them.
It's so funny, but yeah, it's one of those things that, but it's been an amazing journey to go through this with you, right? And just in general. And I'm sure you're like, it's almost like little brother syndrome. You're like, I'm tired of dealing with Ian, but okay, it's Friday.
No, not
Friday.
at all. Actually.
Let me get zoned in. But it's one of those things where, you know, it's two-way street. You know what I mean? And it's one of those. I know that I can talk a mile a minute, and I know that, you know, my ADD self, I'll just jump in because I think of anything and everything while you're talking.
Yep.
But I have to tell myself, shut up. Like, let him finish his sentence. Don't just interject unless it's going to be that thing that's funny enough.
Pick your
moments.
moments.
It's exactly it. It's picking my moments. That's exactly
and that's what you're really good at. And I think we talked a little bit. I don't know if I was talking to you or somebody else about this, but I said the one thing that you're really good at that I think helps me immensely is, like, when I do my Ryan rants, you know, for those of you who don't know, I don't script those. Like, I can't. I wish I could, but I've tried and I've never been able to script them. So they just kind of come. And when they come, Ian's learned to just kind of sit back and let me lose my shit. And
a glorious thing.
But the beautiful thing is that sometimes I don't think I see an off ramp. I don't see a place to stop it.
Right.
And like, I will stop to take a breath or to come up with what my next thing is. And you slide in there.
Ludicrous speed, man. Ludicrous speed.
Brute, I'm telling you, dude. And you slide in and you say something funny, or you just you take it and you end it in a way that it's like, that was the perfect place to stop.
There's the exit.
And so that's the back and forth that has come. I mean, this is episode 21. You know, we've only done 21 shows, and just to see how easy it's come and how, like, and I guys, I'm telling you, we do not talk behind the scenes a whole lot figuring, like, about the show.
No,
like, this
the show's a show. You're getting us raw. This is it. So I hope you guys enjoy hearing a little bit of, like, the behind the scenes and the relationship and what's built this podcast and how we've gotten here. Yeah.
Like, I really enjoy the story. I think it's been great. And, you know, I tell
most of our calls that are on are mostly like hindsight. Like, hey, this is what I watched in the show, giving each other notes of, like, things that we want to do, or new segments, guys. Like, we got some new segments we're working on, just trying to really workshop it to make sure that it works in the show. But we always kind of pit those things together, and we're like, all right, let's see what we can do.
Yeah, and I'm loving it. And speaking of that, good place to plug you. So Ian's got, is it 5 songs now?
5 songs.
We've got 5 songs on Spotify
songs,
now. So I mean, we're halfway to an LP.
It's you know, what's so funny is I'm slowly trickling these out. Like, I'm testing something out right now, but it's you know, it's been interesting to be back in the game and just, like, putting music out there and seeing it.
Yeah,
it's dope though. It's dope. It's been really positive feedback coming my way. And you know me, I'm more about analytics. So I'm like, okay, what's the numbers? What's this?
I know.
What's that?
I know. But it's like, what's the analytics? How do we do?
What's the analytics? How are we doing? And it's just like, it's so funny how much of a suit I do come off as. But when it's like more the vibe, when I hear people tell me, like, how much they really just, like, enjoy the vibe of what I'm creating, I'm like, you know what? Let me stop and let me just enjoy that, because I do need to hear that as a creative.
You do. Know? Well, you need to figure out what is your fuel, and if that's your fuel, then so you need to enjoy that and take that in. And I think that's anybody. Like, even for me, like, when I do a video, like, it takes time to do the videos.
Yeah.
So when one takes off, it's like, wow, cool. People actually responded, you know, to what, you know, creative way that I've delivered this message. You know, it's fulfilling. So I can only imagine, you know, coming up with, you know, like, the beats that you do, and hearing what people have to say, because music makes people feel something.
Well, you know what's interesting is that when you do, like when you talk about, like, the Ryan rants, I notice the best songs that I come up with that are, like, being released, it's like I sometimes don't remember making it. Yeah. Like, there's that moment where I'm just like, I'm so in the zone, and I'm just like, okay, let me do this. I understand the science behind, like, what I studied. Like, I studied music, I studied how to create, I studied engineering. That's what I got my degree in. But then, and that's why I'm doing this project just with this phone. It's just like, okay, how can I literally remove myself from the smallest amount of, you know, I want to remove all other technology. How do I just create with this little bit of stuff? And yeah, my uncle definitely, he held me down, man. He met me when I was in college, and he, like, took me out. He was like, Ian, you look broke, you look hungry. You want to talk about skinny Ian? Whoo! Things have changed. Okay, things have changed. We doing good out here in New York. But it's one of those things where it was, it's if I can remove all this exterior, everything else, and just focus on how can I create with such little, it's all on me at this point, and that's the part that I'm really enjoying. And some people are like, "Oh, well, do you play real instruments?" I'm like, "Yeah, but that's not this project. This project is how do I sample within this box, and then try to make something that is like easy digestible and what people may really rock to." And I got a couple phone calls. People really liking it. They're like, "Ian, this is dope." And then to find out you made it on your phone, it's like, yeah, man.
Yeah, that's the kicker.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's been fun.
So
It's figuring out puzzles.
so we got so there's only 4? I thought a new one dropped.
No, I'm gonna be dropping a 5th one.
Oh, okay.
Gonna be dropping a 5th.
So right now we have 4: the 5 Points, Broken Man 88, and BK 3030. So go if you're on Spotify, but he's streaming on everything, and also if you are a creator, you can find Ian Sherman. You can type in his name on Instagram, TikTok. It works if you're not a business account like mine, but you can actually use his music as background music. So it's perfect because he doesn't have any vocals in him right now. So
Just
you can
instrumentals
just
for
go
you guys.
use
Yeah,
the
man.
good instrumentals
Thank
and
you.
do your video and then help it go viral and everybody hears it. That's how these things work. So yeah, go use this song for a video.
We have a dope community, man. I would appreciate it. That'd be dope. And
Yeah.
definitely, I'm waiting for my positive, but I'm dying laughing because it's. I already told you, joining
Yeah.
TikTok, that's been interesting.
Yeah, I see
That
that
has
you
been
changed your name
interesting.
too on everything. So yeah,
You and
man.
me again, the feedback you've been giving me and really talking to you because you're helping me navigate a world that I'm like, I'm not a part of it. I've really been so disconnected.
It's new,
So
yeah.
disconnected. It really is. And it's funny because I've already made friends on here and they're telling me like they're really like each one teach one. They're giving me like and coaching me on what I need to do. I've been doing a couple of lives and I'm like, I can't jump in. They go, you have no friends. Nobody likes you. We don't want to hear from you. And I'm like, wait a minute, but I want to get in. I
I
got something
know.
to
If you
say.
don't
Like
have a following, it's hard to get
it's
anybody to,
interesting.
yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, but I get it because you don't also don't want trolls. Someone just creates an account. You don't want them to just jump
Oh
in and just
yeah.
like start something.
Well,
So
the other thing too is like the reason you and I are doing the show is because we had the good chemistry, being able to talk. And if you're doing a show, and I had one, I'm not going to mention who it was because there's no point. But I had one show, and it was the person was they had the personality of a rock,
mm,
and it was just like there was no way for me to make this good because like I'm just not funny off the cuff all the time. Like I take my swings when I see them, but
yeah.
it's not my natural setting. My natural setting is anger. So when you have somebody that is, I
Look
mean,
here,
it
Bruce
is.
Banner. Look here. Okay. First and foremost, just I'm always angry.
I mean,
Okay.
it's just my natural. It's my natural thing. I'm a pessimist. Like
Yeah.
I'm dark. Like that's just my natural. I've learned to embrace it. So when you
Yeah.
have somebody on the show and they're not giving you anything, it's like I'm about to turn this into a viral moment of me like just roasting you.
My own
That you're like
co-host.
you're a freaking potato sitting there, unable to answer anything that I've asked you with anything more than a 5 syllable. You know what I'm
I think we
saying?
saw that when we saw the verses. I think we saw that same exact situation happen and unfold. We said, "Damn, man, someone tap him in, man." I literally sat there on the screen. Tap me in, conservative. Tap me in. It didn't happen.
Oh gosh.
Didn't
Oh
happen.
yeah. I'm so glad you actually said that. Today is Donald Trump's birthday, so wishing that this is the last that he has.
I forget this guy was born on Flag Day. There you go,
Isn't that
Alito, and
far?
now
Isn't
I
that
get
messed up?
it. Now I get it. Now I get it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
were just wishing him happy birthday. That's all it was.
Yeah. Happy last birthday, hopefully.
Oh man.
Hey man, I've embraced my hate for this man. The fact of the matter is that the world will be a better place. Um, but the other sad fact is that when Trump is gone, that will not be the end of this movement.
No,
He is
no.
simply
This
the
is
the
cancer. This
evil
is cancer.
vessel. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just the tumor
Yeah.
on the taint of America right now. And when that's cut out, there's going to be another one. So
And literally when you see that that last hair follicle, you just ain't going away. You know what I mean? It's That's where we're at, man. There's gonna be like he's like Voldemort. Okay, there's like little
Like
bits of him
Baltimore?
spread throughout the whole thing. All right, all the Horcruxes of him are embedded in that party now. Like it's not going away. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
god.
It's not. It's not.
Oh,
He
thank
left
you
his
for the
bad
gift,
weave
Spicy.
over there. He left his long ass ties over there. You know, what I mean, it's just there's little bits of him all around it.
Yeah. With that, let's get into the actual outline. 30 minutes in.
It's all
So
good.
I think the first thing we're going to start with is Hunter Biden was found guilty on 3 felony gun charges this week. So what are your initial thoughts on that?
I think the system is rigged, man. I think that that the judge is trash. I think that the jury, we need to attack them. I think we need No, man. Come on. The system worked.
You had me for a quick second.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Wait, what?
it's like, is he going?
No. Guys, the system is doing what it's supposed to do. We're seeing people who
I was about
literally
to
have
mute
had
your mic.
Yeah. I told you shenanigans coming today, man.
Oh god.
No, it's it's just so interesting to see how it in one court you're getting this with Trump, in another court you're getting with Biden. And I have to say, man, looking at Joe, just be like, look, I'm his father. I love him. I'm not stepping in and I'm not pardoning, and I'm going to let the system play out, and he's going to do what he has to do. And it's like, here we go, man. Here we go. Let the system do what it does. And it's interesting to see how the conservatives are reacting to it, because I'm like, look, no one's upset. Nobody who
found guilty.
Nobody who is, liberal or who considers themselves a Democrat or just consider themselves a decent human being is like, the system it needs to crash because this is ridiculous. No, man. It's like, okay, his peers found him guilty and it was only 11 days, Ryan.
Yeah,
11 days. That was the extent of this crime. 11 days. So
yeah,
okay.
that he owned the gun, right? He only owned the gun for 11 days.
He got the gun. Here we are.
Yeah, and I want to touch on what you said because I think this is the most important part, which is that Biden has already come out and said that there's no way that he's going to, pardon or commute any sentence that Hunter's given. And I think that that's important. And I just wanted to ask the question, or just not ask a question. I wanted to remind everybody that Donald Trump pardoned Jared Kushner's father.
Yeah.
So, when you try to go at the Bidens, it's like you guys keep forgetting the history, which is Donald Trump has literally done what you're trying to accuse Biden of possibly doing in the future.
Most things that come out of his mouth, it's either his resume that he's already done that. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of gaslighting because he's already done these things.
Yeah.
He would try to pardon himself. Like, who are we kidding?
Well, I keep telling people, like, I know this sounds like a conspiracy theory, but I really do think this is their plan. Donald Trump wins. He does all their bidding for 3.5 years, and then right before he gets ready to step away or whatever, if he leaves, he'll resign. Whoever the VP is will step in and pardon him on his way out, just like what was it Ford did to Nixon? Was it Ford?
It was Ford.
I think it was Ford.
Yep.
So it'll be the same thing, and they'll do it under the guise of it's what's best for the country.
Yeah.
Like that's the plan, you guys. He's going to get a pardon at the end of this, and he is going to do their bidding. Like, I know that sounds crazy, like some JFK conspiracy, but I'm telling you guys, I spend all day watching what these people do. This is their plan.
You see their moves. You see what they're trying to do.
They're not even like, it's not even behind closed doors anymore.
No, but it never was. That's Trump's superpower, right? And I'm not trying to hijack Biden's trial to just talk about Trump, because I know that we do. But it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
yeah.
Look, when you're looking at this convicted felon who's running for office, and then the son, like, this is historic, the son of a sitting president being found guilty, and then you're looking at the charges and you're like, okay, if this was not the president's son, would this case really be making these waves, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's one of those things of Biden's not being Hunter. He's not running for office. I don't care.
No, he's not.
I don't care. If anything, all you're showing me is that this man loves his son, who's had a very troubled past. And here's the part that I really want people to think about. Nobody has any empathy for Hunter where he was in the car that crashed that killed his mother and his sister.
Survivor's guilt.
And he suffered from that, right?
Oh,
And
I
I'm
don't
just
know how
like,
you couldn't.
you know what I mean? Just put, this is the part where I look at the conservative party and like, you guys lack empathy unless it happens to you.
Yes.
You can't just take yourself out and look at somebody else and be like, this is what they went through. So, okay, you know, he got addicted to drugs. Who doesn't in your family have a drug addiction or had a drug addiction?
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like you got to really start putting the depth of this. Like this man needed help. And guess what? His father was there for him.
Still is.
Still. He said, "I'm not going to get you out of this." And if he did, I'd be like, "Yo, we have a problem."
We would all call it out.
We would call it out. And the thing that is so interesting about it is that you're looking at all these conservatives trying to say, trying to flip this whole thing with, well, they're doing that because they wanted to send him to, you know, they wanted the weakest one to be sent. And it's like, you know what? You guys been calling Hunter weak his entire life. And he's been at the bottom of the barrel in the sense of his own demise. He's created this for himself.
Yeah.
But this man is still here. And he's still trying to do it right. And he's
Battling
still
his
trying to do
demons
something.
every day.
Do you know what I mean? And I already know that's an uphill battle every day. That amount of pressure. So,
and you know, and you want to know what bothers me too is that people aren't factoring in what this does to an addict.
yeah.
So you
Yes.
know, you're again going back to, you know, the fat shaming. It's the same thing. These people don't care if Hunter, you know, goes off the wagon or, you know, does something worse to himself
Right.
because of what they're doing. They
Yeah.
really don't care.
No.
And again, I think it takes a special kind of evil to know someone's history. You know that they've gone to rehab, know that they have had issues, you know that it's public.
Absolutely.
And to sit there and further embarrass them on the House floor with pornographic photos, you know.
Hey, but he showed up.
And again, I'm going to ask you this: how many of you out there haven't sent a dick pic? How many of you out there haven't sent a boobies pic?
I don't think I sent a dick pic. I don't think
I've sent a dick pic.
Okay, there you
It
go.
was requested.
Okay. Unsolicited is different.
Yeah, it was requested.
Okay.
But point being, you know, they did think they took something that so many Americans do every day, you know, whether it be with a spouse or whoever.
Yeah.
And they took that and they put it on poster boards and they showed it to the American people. And again, doing all of that knowing that this man is an addict, it's just like there's been zero compassion or anything shown towards this. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to attack, you know, you want to take him into court because you have proof that he did shady business deals. Okay. Like, again, I don't see a whole lot of Democrats, liberals, or independents all standing around arguing that shouldn't happen.
Absolutely.
If you can prove it, cool. Just like this. Okay, he's found guilty of 3 felonies. You know, whatever the sentencing comes is what comes.
That's right.
But again, I'll ask, you guys keep saying that Joe Biden is going after Donald Trump using his Department of Justice, yet his Department of Justice just found his son guilty of 3 felonies and is very possibly about to send him to jail for a year or more.
Yeah.
So which is it? Is the Biden family a criminal mastermind, you know, being run by Joe Biden, you know, the big guy, and that he's going to get his son out of everything? Or is Joe Biden incapable of even walking across the stage and incapable of, you know, human
Sitting in
thought
front of
or
a trial.
anything else?
Right. Which one is it?
Which one is
And
it?
they can't do it. And the best part of this is Hunter Biden showed up and he went to his hearing, his subpoena. He showed up. So, you know, don't let Jim Jordan didn't show up. You know what I mean?
No. And thank
And
you.
Angry
That's-
Bunny, I'm just going to say this. I didn't send a dick pic, but it definitely might be a Zoom out there. So we had a conference call.
Oh my God.
Let's see if that video exists.
Yeah, you got me with that one. You got me.
Hey, man,
Oh, shit.
I think of creative ways, man. Think of creative
She
ways.
said, sure. Right. Love you, buddy.
That was a good night. That's all I gotta say.
But no, you know, it's been hard watching them, you know, just attack this man who is not running for office.
Right.
Again, This
Right.
man is not running for any public office.
He's not even running for custodian of the White House. He ain't doing nothing.
Nope, he doesn't have an office in the White House like
No.
some other
There's no clearance,
children
no nothing.
had.
No clearance, nothing. He's not even affiliated with any of this.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't get a clearance, so it is what it is. But
Burisma.
yeah,
But,
whatever.
Here we are. So you know what? Look, we'll see what the sentencing is,
Yep.
and also he's going to do the appeals as well. And you know what? Best
Yep,
of luck
that-
to
I
you
think
for what
that's
you're
a
trying to
good-
do, and good luck in life.
Yep. But I just think it goes to show that the side that I claim, the left, did not lose their shit and go. I keep saying the S word. I haven't dropped an F bomb though. But they keep losing their minds over this stuff, and it doesn't seem. There just seems to be a lot of hypocrisy. Like again, I asked Kyle Rittenhouse purchased a gun using a straw man purchase. Like he gave his federal stimulus money to another person.
Yep.
They went and purchased that gun in their name, brought it back to his house,
and the mom dropped him off.
Well, no,
across
that's
state
not
lines.
no, that's not actually true. He stayed the night at the guy's house that bought the gun.
Oh, got it. Okay, sleepover. Oh,
Yeah, it
real
was
cool. All
yeah,
right.
yeah, well.
Slumber party.
So,
Got
and whether that's true or not, maybe his mom really did drive and they changed the story. I don't know. Either way, I think what was officially in court was that he had stayed the night at this dude's house.
A child with a weapon killed people.
Yeah, a child with a firearm that was purchased illegally, and you applaud him getting off, but you guys want to go after Hunter Biden for owning a gun for 11 days, and you're going to put him in jail for it. So it's just, if anything, I just want to point out the double standard. I'm not saying Hunter, shouldn't have gotten what he got. It is what it is, and he'll go through his appeal process. But I have to point out the double standard.
Yeah.
You guys are sitting there cheering for one person, being held accountable by the law, while also cheering that, another kid got off without being held accountable by the law.
Absolutely.
So, just want to point that out.
And Hunter's a grown ass man. He's not, he's not a
Yeah,
child.
dude, Hunter's 50 something. You guys are sitting there saying that, Joe Biden should be controlling this man.
I mean, if I do a crime, no one's talking about my mom. No one's like, oh, Wilma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, no, Ian Sherman did X, Y, and Z. That's what it is. That's the situation. So.
And again, I'm voting for the guy who stood behind his son, and no matter what, and not just him, but Jill Biden too. She flew.
Dr.
Jill Biden. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Got to give
she
her
flew
flowers.
Back. They were in France doing I think the D-Day stuff.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. Sorry. They were doing the D-Day memorials, and she flew back to be in court with him
For the verdict.
For everything. I don't know if it was the verdict day or if it was, but she had been showing up to court. So, it just goes to show that at the end of the day, they seem to be family first.
Yeah.
And you got to respect that. Every family has their issues and goes through their trials and tribulations. And some families choose to do it in the public eye.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do. So, I hope Hunter can keep his recovery pointed in the right direction through all of this.
Yeah.
And whether he goes to prison or not, hopefully he's able to stay off of or stay away from the dark side that he's dealt with so long. But I'm so glad you said that about the accident with his mother and his sisters and stuff. Like,
people don't keep that in mind. You know what I mean? That trauma that lives with you. Yeah, but it lives with you.
Survivor's guilt is real.
Yes.
It's real.
But even just in general, whatever he went through, we
self-medicate. Yeah, we self-medicate.
Do you know what I mean?
It just is. It's a thing.
It's something that just let that play back in your head when you see somebody who's troubled. Like something happened in their past and they're working through it.
Yeah.
Regardless of when they hit rock bottom, that's not for us to decide. That's for them to decide. But at that moment of rock bottom, they will then extend that hand of needing you.
Yes.
And it's not for us to judge you. It's like, I just see you're not ready. So I can't give you that $1. No.
Yep.
You're going to buy, crack with it. No.
I know what you're going to do with it.
Yeah, but I will feed you a meal. Here's a meal. At least you had a good meal today, and come back next time.
Yep.
That's
So
how you
with
do it.
that, let's move on to the next useless part of our government, which seems to be the Supreme Court. Did you like that one?
You know, I don't know what to think about these folks. I want to hear what start the segment. Let's hear what we're about to jump into.
Well, so the Supreme Court has struck down a Trump era ban on rapid fire bump stocks. And I just can't effing believe it. I really can't.
When was
Like,
that kicked in? When was that kicked into place?
so I believe that I believe this happened. It was after the 2017 mass shooting in
Vegas.
Vegas,
That is
which
correct.
I think it's still the worst
Where a
in our
man in a
history.
hotel
Yeah, he
literally
shot
laid
60
out
plus
people
people.
at a concert and just started picking people off.
Yep. So after that, the Republican Trump administration, along with Democrats, had gotten a bump stock uh, ban in place. And so, of course, it was challenged, and the Supreme Court today shot it down 6-3, basically saying that it infringed on people's rights to not allow them to turn these weapons into rapid fire firearms.
So where's my right to live? Where's my
Where's
right to
my
go
kid's right
listen?
to be able to be able to go outside,
Where's my right to go to a concert? Where's
go to
my
the
right
mall?
to spend time with my family, to do anything?
Like,
Because there is a small few, you lose your toys. I'm sorry.
yep,
Until we get this figured out. And
we're not
that's
the
not
first
the
country to do
situation.
it. We're not the first
No.
country to consider it.
No.
And the data shows, whether they like to admit it or not, the data shows that it works. That's why other countries have done it. And we have
This is very cringe.
oh dude,
That
like there
because
are
of
other
that
countries
case,
looking at us and they're like, "Are you people serious?"
this Supreme Court, this is where I want everybody real quick. Just listen up to Ryan and I. We don't know much, but we do know this. The Supreme Court is far more extreme than Donald Trump. They just flipped his ruling, his law, okay? And if he gets back in power, he's putting in more conservatives because he knows that they will eventually let him off.
Mm-hmm.
This is the conservative Project 25 circle jerk that they are trying to implement all together.
Yep.
And the thing that we all need to be very aware and cognizant of is that they are literally washing each other's hands at this point. They are not removed.
No.
And we need to make sure that we have balance within, because this absolute power, we already see how the Supreme Court feels. They feel untouchable.
Yep. So, and again, I just want to really drive home what this does. Okay, these bump stocks, it changes, it removes the mechanisms that were put onto these weapons to make them more civilian friendly.
Mm.
I think that's the best way to put it. Is that when they made these when they started making these available to civilians, they wanted to make them less. They really wanted to make them less deadly. And if you go Google the creator of this weapon, and he does interviews and literally says that those guns that he created were never intended for civilian use. They were always meant to be military weapons.
And still not have the bump stock. It was supposed to be that one shot, or is it supposed to be rapid fire? The bump stock.
We had, I'm trying to remember. I think my 16, I think it was single shot and then 3 round bursts.
Got it.
But with this bump stock, it basically
Machine gun.
just go.
Yeah.
Like
Just
you can
mow
unload
down.
a clip. And prime example, the gunman in Vegas fired more than 1,000 rounds into the crowd in 11 minutes.
That's insane. In 11 minutes.
In 1,000 rounds, like
Jesus
that's
Christ.
insane. You just couldn't do that with a bunch of handguns.
Yeah.
You couldn't. Unless you had like 40 of them all lined up at the edge of the, at the edge of the window and just were going I don't know, but like
Yeah.
the point is that these weapons are used for a specific reason, and civilians don't need them. And we're not even talking about lower receivers yet. All you people out there like say I don't know anything about guns. Let's talk. So lower receivers. Imagine if you put a bump stock and change the lower receiver on an AR-15. Because what changing a lower receiver does, it allows you to change the caliber that the weapon fires. So when
Yeah.
they tell you that, oh well, these aren't able, the ARs aren't able to fire 5.56 and yeah, yes they can. You just have to change the lower receiver, which unfortunately is extremely easy to do. So when these people tell you that you don't know what you're talking about, please educate yourself like I have, and then remind them that yes, it's very easy to do. And then we're not even talking about 3D printing yet.
No. No. Nope.
Okay?
Nope.
So this is
Insane.
the the
Insane.
the reality is that this is a step in the wrong direction. The
Right.
Supreme Court has taken us literally steps backwards. I mean, this was a Trump era. I think one of our awesome listeners put it in the chat here. This was a Trump era rule that went into effect in March 26th of 2019, and I believe the acts were the Gun Control Act, the GCA, and National Firearms Act, the NFA. Thank you, Brian, for that, by the way. So again, it's leading cause of death among children in the United States, age 1 to 19, for the last several years has been firearms.
Right.
The increase over the last 2 years has been over 50%, just
That's
in the
insane.
last 2 years. So we need to get serious about this. And we also need to remind everyone that being an American is a privilege. And every right that we have is a privilege that
Right.
comes with responsibility. And we have failed to be responsible when it comes to the Second Amendment. And we have failed to be responsible when we have not used the tools that we have to alter the Constitution, or to amend the Constitution, I should say, sorry, to
It is to
better.
amend. It's to amend.
Exactly.
You
We
know,
need to start getting serious about building a government that is willing to actually amend the Constitution to put things in place that better protect Americans.
right.
There's a reason that the Constitution was written the way that it is. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be a living, breathing document that adapts over time to our society, and we have forgotten that.
Yeah.
We need
It's
to go ahead.
it's something but just to add what you're saying is like this is the part, and the pandemic even showed me this, that we don't care about our neighbor, right? And again, you're not going to get much from the conservative mindset because it doesn't affect them. If it hasn't happened to them, they lack empathy. The fact that you have someone like Alex Jones who's talking about, and I've known this since Sandy Hook, the fact that they let those little babies die and they did nothing to help these people, nothing to change laws. I go, we are rotting from the inside.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're talking about a country concert in Vegas. This is their own demographic who probably has guns, right? And don't get me wrong, I like guns. I got a chance to shoot a shotgun at spiders the size of my hand in Louisiana, in the middle of nowhere. And I said, okay, this is amazing. I get it. I get the exhilaration of having a weapon. You feel powerful, this, and the third, whatever the case is. But to feel the power of kickback of a shotgun, great. I totally get it. The fact of firing AR. My brother has one. I said, okay, I want to try this out. I want to see what that's like. I want to see why people love this weapon
Yeah.
so much. And in doing so, okay, I get it. There's something about it. I get it. But I don't need it. And I don't need it in my apartment. I don't need it in my house. I don't need it where I have a neighbor knocking on my door. The fact that we have neighbors killing neighbors because they're having an altercation, like the fact that that's the go-to. We need to have a collective conversation about us as a society. The fact that we are literally killing each other. The only time that we're not killing each other is when we're at war.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
And even then, few stories, just saying.
Yeah. There's always going to be a story or two.
So I think we can move on to the next ridiculous court case, which was the women, I shouldn't say women, the families that were suing the state of Oklahoma over the Tulsa massacre and the burning down of Black Wall Street
Black Wall Street.
lost their case. They didn't lose the case. It was thrown out.
Yeah. Didn't even get a chance.
Didn't even really.
They are 109 years old. They've lived this entire time to tell their story, to look the American government in the face and tell them what they did.
So this gives me a physical reaction, personally. So
what is that reaction? What is your reaction?
It's a tightness in my chest. It's like an anger. It's I think it's probably a mixture of anger and disappointment.
Yeah.
Because these particular families deserved to have their case heard. And it's extremely unfortunate that we have too many people in this country that, whether it's a choice or if it's just ignorance, but they choose to ignore the evil things that we've done in our past. And they fail to acknowledge what generational wealth is and how generational wealth has been built in this country for centuries.
Yeah.
And to be able to literally, draw a direct line from these women and their brother that passed away, I believe, in 2019. So before any of this could even be heard, that this can be directly tied to that. These people directly, their lives were directly hurt by what these people did. And if you don't know what the Tulsa Massacre is, please go Google it. This was hundreds of white people that got together in a mob and then were deputized.
That's the key factor.
They were deputized to make it legal.
Yep.
Of what they were about to go do. They killed over 300 people. They burned down 38 city blocks. Not a block. Not a few blocks.
They dropped bombs from planes.
They leveled it to nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for us as a country to fail to acknowledge that, and to fail to listen to the story, and to fail to have an honest, good faith conversation about compensation and reparations for the families that were directly affected by what the government did to Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
And we're talking about an extremely successful, group of Black Americans that had come together and built something so great that it terrified the white establishment. So much so that they made it legal for them to go lynch these people and burn down everything.
Yeah.
And our court system looked at these people this week and said, we don't care. We're not going to have this conversation. So
it's one of those things, Ryan, to add to, of when you talk about Black excellence, and this is why they called it Black Wall Street, is because that's where a lot of resources were pulled together in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And when you think about them doing so, when it was them in the height of, we have nowhere else to go, we've been pushed to the brink of, you don't want us here, so we got to go create our own thing. And when you think about that, you look at how it's like, this is, like you said, generational wealth. I don't have tightness in my chest. I don't have the same knee-jerk reaction that you do. This is as American as apple pie.
Yeah.
This was never going to see the light of day, because the moment you start talking about reparations, you're like, whoa, we can't, because keep in mind the conservative mindset too, is that, well, this happened so long ago, why do I need to pay for it? This is a living example of how long ago it was. And now you're just waiting for them to die so you can really put a period to that and say it's done.
And that's the problem. It's not done. And that's what I want to keep driving home. It's not done because every single living family member of those people was affected by it. So, and here, this is the best example I can give. So when we talk about generational wealth, here's what we're talking about. So I lost. Uh-oh, they're about to kick me off of TikTok. There we go. I lost my dad in 2007. I was 25 years old. And when he passed away, he had a house that was worth 130,000. He also had about $1 million worth of retirement and things of that sort. And since he never got to retire, it was split up between me, my brother, and my sister, divided into three. So I think each of us walked away with a little over $300,000.
Okay.
Now, plus other assets. You know, we had a timeshare down in Florida, a bunch of other stuff that was divided up. But the point being is that that's what's called generational wealth. Is that when my dad left this earth, he was able to leave over $1 million of wealth to us through
Yeah.
life insurance, through the properties that he owned and how much those were worth, everything. And that is what we took from these families during the Tulsa massacre. When we burned down Black Wall Street, we removed all of that future generational wealth for those families.
Right.
And that is what they were trying to get acknowledgement for. That's an honest conversation. That's not reparations for every black person in America.
No.
That's reparations for every family that was directly affected by that. And it was over 300 families.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like the fact that I could show you my grandfather's slave certificate, like I could show you, I could be
Yep.
Here it is. Here's a document. This is how much he was sold for. Like that should mean something. You know what I mean? That should really hold water. But we know
Yes.
that's not going to happen. But we've talked about this in the past show about Bruce's Beach. Same thing. You know, where that was almost eminent domain, but that property was then given back to the family. That was a win.
Yeah.
That was a
Huge win.
actual win. Where it's like, wow. Because think about how many generations lost money on whatever they could have done with that property.
Yep. And how much the
You know-
property is worth now versus what it was then.
Correct.
It's probably
Correct.
insane.
You know, and we've had the discussion, did they sell it, did they not? Look, it's for them to do whatever they want to. But it
Yeah.
was theirs finally to actually make it right. So, we got this wrong once again, but this was expected.
Yeah.
Totally expected.
But speaking of making things right, Alex Jones, as we were logging on, was ordered to liquidate all of his shit.
I see what you did there. I see what you
All of it. Except for InfoWars. He's allowed to keep working so that he can keep making money
did. Stop
for
it.
the families.
Stop it.
So they left InfoWars, but they said everything else, sell it. So he has to sell it all and give it to the family members from Sandy Hook.
Is
So-
bankruptcy option or no?
Judge Christopher Lopez approved converting Jones's proposed personal bankruptcy reorganization to a liquidation, but throughout the attempted reorganization of his company, Texas-based Free Speech Systems, many of the Sandy Hook families had asked that the company also be liquidated.
I mean, that's the scene of the crime, man.
So
You and I are not over here just spewing BS. You know, we're trying to be as factual as possible and to
he
use
owes
that platform.
$1.5 billion for saying that Sandy Hook school shooting was a hoax.
Yeah.
Like, and this is who, by the way, this is who Elon handed a exclusive contract to. He has an
Yeah,
exclusive
yeah.
show on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, along with Tucker Carlson. Yeah, I'm still waiting for some left wing.
How did that thing go with Don Lemon?
Yeah, Don Lemon and freaking actually asked Elon some hard questions, and next thing you know, he's fired.
Free speech, but not from you.
But not from you. He's like, oh my god, that was so bad too. It's so bad. Well, I don't have to talk to you. Oh,
It's so
okay.
good.
But-
By the way, guys, like, subscribe, hit the notifications.
Yes.
You know, welcome to the show. Hold the mic. We got 1,600 plus in here. You know, we're having a good time on this lovely Friday. We got a couple trolls. I see you, baby. Thank you for joining us. You know what I
we
mean?
love you too.
I'm glad you hanging out, man. Keep it up. You're good.
I
You're good to
I
go.
agree. Rochelle said Alex Jones deserves that and so much more. I agree.
Yeah.
Anybody
yeah.
that comes out and, again, what was it? 20 plus kids, I think, were shot that day.
Yeah.
Like, to come out and spit in the faces of every family member that lost a child that day and say, "Oh, it's a hoax. Oh, it's just," like, dude, really? Like, talk about zero compassion. Again, these are the
No.
people that, attack us for our looks and everything, and attack Hunter Biden for his addictions and all this stuff. Like, they're just not good people. And
No.
you
No.
can almost always spot them on social media because they're going to have one of two words in their bio within the first 5 words, and it's going to be either God or Christian. Almost and it's going to be followed by an American flag.
And a link to dick pills. Whatever snake oil that they're hawking. Yes, or coffee. That's correct.
I don't know why I found that one so funny.
Because you know it's true.
Yeah,
That's why.
probably. Oh my God, Tones is in here. Tones is a friend of she's been following me since the very beginning, and she's in Ireland.
Tones, big shout out.
And a friend can't stay as it's 2 a.m. there, but love seeing you. It's been a while.
Big shout out.
So good to see you, my friend. It has been way too long. But just another shout out to all of our listeners who are downloading us. We see you in France and all those places. I think we're in 8 countries now.
Yo,
8
what's
countries?
up, man? What's up?
So, we're 21 episodes in. We're being listened to in 8 different countries. We're being downloaded. We've got 1,800 plus watching us right now on Twitter. Yeah, man.
You guys, man, we're here. We're here.
Things are going.
Look at that smile on your face.
What's that?
I said, look at that smile on your face.
Well, so for those wondering, I just want to, just a little brag for us, all episodes
A
here.
humble brag? What's a humble
We
brag?
added another one. We've got 9 countries now.
See?
So we are in the United States, Canada, Ireland, the UK, France, New Zealand, Australia, the Netherlands, and Portugal.
Boom.
So to all of our overseas listeners, we appreciate you. We love you just as much. Thank you for caring about, because if you're listening to us, then you must actually care a little bit about American politics and social justice issues. So thank you for paying attention and supporting Ian and I along the way. And just remember, go download his music too on Spotify. You can find him. So yeah, good beats are good beats, no matter where you're listening.
Hey, man. And let me tell you, it's always a good day here on Hold the Mic. So check in.
We're doing good. Big things are coming. I was telling Ian the other day, I was listening to somebody who has a really big podcast now, and you become a fan of somebody, and sometimes if you don't go back and look, you don't realize how long they've been doing something.
Yeah.
And to hear, it's like, yeah, been doing this 11 years and haven't missed a podcast, ever. Like, it's been a download every Monday. And it's like, so hearing him talk about consistency, was big. But then also just talking about there's going to be times where that something's going to happen that's going to notch you up a level. And that's going to notch you up another level.
Yeah.
He's like, and then he's like, but he explained the last 2-3 years have been ridiculous, crazy. But just talked about like how he started. Like, they were doing shows in a basement, and then they moved to a restaurant, and then they moved to like a comedy show, and then they moved to. But now they're doing the Forum and freaking Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
They're literally recording a podcast sitting in a freaking stadium.
But at the same time, like, I think about it, you give your trolls an arena where they're not just yelling at their mom, "Where's the meatloaf?" Like, you're like giving them a place where they can like try to be abusive in a way that they feel like they have some sort of power, and it's like, it's not working, but at the same time, they feel tough.
Yep.
It's good. So you know what? You're a giver. Thank you, Ryan. You give people a place, a safe space. Hey, trolls, this is a safe space for you. I just want you to know that.
We love you.
We got room for you, baby.
But
come
like
join
Kaylin said, we do have a solid support team behind us here on the show. Kaylin is our moderator, but also we have a bunch of people. We have people that watch what's going on, send us DMs, and let us know when we're in articles, or let us know when somebody's trolling us, or I feel like we have hundreds of eyes, constantly around, and it's because of you guys. So
100%.
So
and I love Kaylin. Kaylin's been reaching out to me, and she has me dying laughing off this show, and I'm like, she is funny. She's dope human.
Yep. And whether you're religious, not religious, whatever your thing is, if you can send some prayers and love and strength towards Kaylin and her family, they're going through some things right now. But I think all will be well, but they could still use some good vibes and thoughts their way. So
Tell your mom I say hello and I'm sorry about the dick zoom joke. Maybe it wasn't a joke. Hi, Mom.
were you on the Zoom with her?
Lady never tells. Thank you very
Oh
much.
my God. Oh God, and she's watching, and I just made that joke. Oh shit. Sorry,
You,
Mom. See, this is what happens when you don't look at the comments before the joke.
it's why I double dip, Ryan. It's why I
Whoopsie.
double dip. It's why I
Yeah.
double dip.
I don't know how to recover from that one. So moving on. So we were talking about Alex Jones. So we're going to move on now to this one. This segment is for all the people who constantly tell me that racism in America isn't real and we're just exaggerating things, and the right doesn't want to hurt people that aren't white. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Tones. Appreciate you. Um, so the feds have come out and said that they have stopped a race. I don't even know how to word this.
A race baiting war from
Yeah, keep
taking
going.
place. I mean, it's just more so when you're looking at somebody who has that ideology that wants to kick rocks and stir the pot and try to create some type of tension amongst races, i.e., Dylan when he went into a black church and killed the people he
Yeah,
sat there watching pray. They have this agenda. Also, Buffalo, New York, where that young white man went across state lines to go into a predominantly black neighborhood to gun down people in a grocery store. Again, it's people that are they're not right in the head and they believe whatever they believe.
yeah.
Much like your trolls. They believe what they believe and that's it. They're willing to jump off the cliff like lemmings. And this individual thought, and I said this to you earlier. I have not heard so much about Arizona until now in my life, and I'm like, what is going on in Arizona? I know you guys are like low on water, but there's a lot
Oh
of
fuck.
news coming from Arizona.
You
What is
know,
happening?
between the 11 fraudulent electors and this guy, wanting to go shoot up a Bad Bunny concert to start a race war. Yeah, we've got some special ones here in Arizona. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of the
There's some
reasons
biggest.
I claim Detroit whenever possible.
Yeah,
Um, but no, I mean, the good news is that we have a lot of good people here in Arizona, getting into politics, and we have a good governor. We have a good attorney general right now.
yeah.
I'm really hoping that we can manage to give Katie Hobbs the House and
The,
Senate, the state House and Senate.
the backup that she needs.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
well, just in the ability to actually get some stuff done, so she doesn't have to keep cramming things down people's throats with executive orders. It'd be nice
Yeah.
to actually have a functioning state government. So yeah, just hearing this kind of stuff, it just makes me glad that we have a lot of good people on the job. And this goes back to, we lost an officer here in Arizona. We just found out yesterday. So,
That's
these
tragic.
aren't easy jobs, and
No.
um, anytime I think law enforcement's coming, trying to go after a guy like this who's literally buying up as many guns as possible, I'm sure that comes with a lot of inherent danger that they feel going into that situation. So, um, yeah, I'm just really glad that they were able to stop it before it happened. Um, that's law enforcement doing their job,
That's when they get
getting
it
it
right,
done.
man. When they get it right. When
Yep,
they don't,
thank
it's like
God.
Arizona. It's like Vegas. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
That just the
and
only difference is that's them killing each other. And
yep,
it's like, why are you? This is your demographic. So that shows you just how off that
yeah.
individual was.
But like I said, a big shout out to all the law enforcement. I believe it was the feds that got it done, but
Right.
I'm sure it wasn't just them. I'm sure it probably took multiple agencies to get that done. So like I
Shout
said,
out.
that's why you're never going to hear me say we need to be defunding these things. They definitely work.
Yeah.
It's just we just need to fine tune some things. Is what
Right.
I think.
Right.
So moving on. So if you may or may not have heard, but the Russian military
They pulling up, baby.
has pulled up into Cuba.
Whoo!
Um, so they're only like what 100, 200 miles off the coast of Florida right now.
Off Miami.
Yeah. So I mean, not to fearmonger or anything, but they could launch a nuclear missile right now and hit DC in a matter of like 30 minutes. But
Mm-hmm.
not
They
to
are
not to be worried.
they just a little too close for comfort. But I believe did
It
I send
is.
you something also that America is pulling up as well?
Yeah, I mean, of course,
A U.S. attack sub
we
and
moved.
Canada Navy patrol ship are arriving near Cuba as well.
Yeah, we definitely sent a few things in the area to make sure that nobody got froggy, which I
Bro,
would expect. But I just want to tell everybody this is a military exercise. It was planned. So they didn't just roll up into Cuba
well, let me ask you
unannounced.
this. Was this planned before or after we said we're gonna go ahead and take that 50 billion and go ahead and hand it to Ukraine?
Well,
Thank you,
they were already
G7.
here. They were already here by then.
Were they already here?
Yeah, yeah.
We knew they were on their way, but the G7, this thing just came out just a day ago. This all kind of.
I don't think the Russian. I don't think the.
I'm not saying like it was like, oh, we're taking that 50 billion and we're gonna show up right at your door. No, I'm just saying though,
No,
you got my
I'm
money.
just saying I don't think the troop move. I don't think the military movements or anything are correlating with that right now. Um,
You don't think that's their flex? Like, okay, we're gonna team up with
I
Cuba.
don't think so. No.
Okay, because they've been
Um,
talking about this 50 billion for a long time. They just solidified it though.
oh, don't get me wrong. I think something might be coming because
Okay,
they're definitely not going to be happy about this.
your brother just said
Um,
that it's been planned for years. So
yeah. Um, the and again, so some I guess some breaking news as we were coming on. The G7 leaders have agreed to lend Ukraine $50 billion that is being backed by all of Russia's frozen assets. So
damn.
as you can imagine, there's some very upset individuals in Russia today,
Ooh, ooh.
or wherever they're hiding.
They gonna work in overtime to try to get Trump in power. They said this is not okay.
Oh, it's crazy. It really is. But all joking aside, uh, we privately have been talking a lot about the war in
Yes,
Ukraine and the
yes.
importance of it. That we have feel has been getting a little
Bogged
less,
down.
yeah, bogged down with less attention because of Israel and everything going on in Gaza and whatnot. So it's still very important, and I'm glad to see that the world leaders are still focused on it. Because if we, whether you agree with it or not, if we let Russia just go at it, it's not going to end well for us.
Yeah.
Like we can't let this go unchecked. And I think the best response I've heard is, and I actually believe it came from House Speaker Mike Johnson, which makes me vomit in my mouth a little bit to agree with anything he says. But when they voted to fund to send money over there, which a lot of Republicans were against, he said, "Look, I'd rather be sending them, bullets and money rather than send our soldiers over there."
That's right.
And I thought that was a great response. It's like,
Yeah.
look, we acknowledge that if things get out of control over there, it's not going to go well for us, and we're going to have to send more than just some money and food. We're going to actually have to send military power.
And let me
And
ask you this, because
yeah,
you've been in the military. Uh, Clearly, we're not sending them the newest stuff that we have. We're sending them the back stock of everything. Does some of this stuff have expiration dates? So it's like, well, we might as well use it, or it goes bad,
mm,
or to keep it, store it, and maintenance it. Like if like the
that may
F-16,
play a part.
you know what I
Uh,
mean? Like to
yeah,
keep all this stuff, the warehouse, all this
like
stuff.
I think some of the benefits, like we've sold our old F-15s to some countries.
Right.
We've sold our F-16s like to the Saudis, I believe. And then we actually, we do federal contracts and we send people like myself over there, and we
Right.
teach the country that purchased our machinery or whatever, and we go show them how to maintain it.
Yes.
So when we sell things to other countries, they actually come with like contracts to that Americans are going to go over there and teach them how to use it, fly it, and maintain it. And so, like you said, if we're able to offload a bunch of old aircrafts and not have to store them somewhere like here in
Right.
Davis Monthan, we're able to make some money and get rid of them. Then it's
Of
like, yeah,
course.
let's do that. And when you have countries like Ukraine who are in desperate need of some air superiority, it's just a good opportunity for us to get rid of some of our older aircrafts and equipment and make room for new stuff. You
Right.
know, the more F-16s and A-10s and stuff that we get rid of, that's just more F-35s. You know, that's more aircrafts that we're going to purchase and put in their place.
Your
So,
boy showed up. He showed up to see you.
there
He
he
showed
is,
up to see
Eno.
you. Eno showed
Dude,
up. He always makes an
that,
appearance at some point.
that is my dog right there, man.
Yo, man, this little guy.
Yeah.
I love what you're saying though about that and yes, our military complex of how it's taking place. What's up, little man?
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it look, guys, what's going on in the world right now is really messed up. And unfortunately, we have so many conflicts going on at once that, you know, my fear really is of everything just kind of merging into one.
Yeah.
You know, like, is it probable? I don't know. But is it possible? Yeah. And just that possibility, you know, kind of freaks me out a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, I have people that I know that have connections in the military, and they think something's coming. You know, and usually they're not wrong. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like I wish they could tell me what's going on and everything, but you know, anybody that's in the military, you know, it's all codes, and you know, and you just kind of know what certain things mean, and um, so it'll be really interesting to see if they're going to start bringing people back. You know, because they're not our military recruitment numbers are not very good right now. So
I
they've
wonder
been
why. I
yeah,
wonder
right.
why.
So they've been sending letters out to certain career fields and letting recent retirees know that they might get called back.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so if they start calling people back that have retired or gotten out,
Okay.
and they stop lossing certain career fields,
Okay.
that's usually the telltale sign that something's about to go down.
That's
So, you know, just
interesting.
those are some things that we can kind of pay attention to that are just
Right.
kind of like red flags. Like, oh, they're recalling people. Yeah,
Yeah.
that means that they're anticipating needing more people. You know, oh, they're stop lossing people and not allowing them to retire or get out. Okay,
Right.
that means they know they're going to need these people. So, you know,
That's so
just common sense
interesting.
kind of stuff that we can pay attention to that
Yeah.
just kind of give us a little insight of what might be coming. And when we have so many conflicts going on at once,
Yeah.
that we have vested interests in as well.
So what are your thoughts on America kind of loosening some of the rules of engagement for Ukraine against Russia, i.e., you can now strike into certain target zones in Russia using American, weapons.
You know, I think that this is one of the very complicated, you know, conversations we've been having, not just about Ukraine, but Israel as well.
Right.
Um, how do we fight these people? How do you fight, you know, a military or a terrorist group that is willing to do things that we aren't? Um, and the honest, savage response is that sometimes you have to go to where they are.
Yeah.
And that's the part of war, that's the part of military that, you know, a lot of Americans don't really get, is one of the reasons that people in the military, when they get out, they struggle, is because they struggle with finding a place to put what they were asked to do or what they had to do to get
Okay.
home. And what we are raised with just as human beings here in America, our society is not as savage as it is in other countries.
Right.
So sometimes people in the military have to do some really wretched things, and they have to live with that.
Absolutely.
And
My uncle told me how he had to survive Vietnam, and
you know, I
it's like,
mean,
and I fully empathize. Like I get it.
yeah, I
I'm
mean,
like, however you turned out, are you happy now, or do you need anything? I get it.
it's
It's
just a
tragic.
lot of people need to understand that, you know, we do things that we don't normally do,
Hmm.
that we know isn't okay, that we know isn't the human, that isn't based in humanity, but it's based in war and based in winning,
Yeah.
not what's right. And that's a tough place to be.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're on the front lines or you're given the orders, that's
Right.
a tough place to be.
Right.
because you're telling other people to go do something that you know you would normally not tell them to do, and you're telling them to do it for the good of their country because either we win or they win.
Right.
And so when people ask you when you're in the military, how do you do that stuff? It's because you follow orders. There's a reason that they pound in our head from day one. You follow orders, you follow orders, you follow orders. Because they know at some point there's going to be an order that comes down that's going to be in conflict with your personal morals.
Mm-hmm.
And what the military expects of you at that point is for you to put your moral and your other bullshit aside and go do what needs to be done and get the mission done.
Right.
And that's the part that a lot of people that have never been in the military, never been in a situation like that, just they'll never understand or grasp. And so uh, to see them easing those things up, I think it's based in a response to how the other side is fighting.
Yeah.
So I'm hesitant to really chastise the decision. But again, I think we always have to acknowledge the fact that these aren't the way that these wars are being fought now is very different. Whether it be we're not fighting soldiers in uniforms. In Gaza, we're fighting terrorists in normal
Right.
clothes. Who
Right.
knows who is who?
Yeah.
In Russia, they're willing to bomb hospitals and they're willing to,
Home Depots, they're same type of
yeah,
hardware stores.
they're literally
Yeah.
bombing public squares, which
Yeah.
is against the Geneva Convention.
Right.
So how do you fight that? Can
But
you
even on top of
can you
that,
fight that without stooping to their, I don't want to say their level, but without utilizing the same
tactics that are
tactics that they're
yeah.
utilizing?
But even looking at like what the ICC or the ICJ bring to the table and how it really doesn't, it's just a rubber stamp. There's nothing that happens from a ruling or, it just makes a
Yeah,
headline. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's just a headline.
yep,
Because then it comes down to who's going to enforce it, right?
yeah,
Nobody in America is going to, America and also Israel, just speaking of those two countries alone, we don't even recognize either one of those as a legal entity where we're like, oh, you can pass laws on us. No, we've never signed on, which I thought was so interesting. So it really comes off as very political on top of that when you look at who's utilizing to press what charges.
yeah,
Um, but at the same time, too, Ryan, when you're looking at like what's going on, like did you see the footage of? We don't have to touch too much into this, but into the rescue of the 4 hostages that
yeah.
were
I saw some of
there.
the footage.
You saw some of it.
Yeah,
It's really interesting to see where they were being held at, you know, in an apartment of a journalist,
yeah,
Al Jazeera journalist, and you're like, well, wait a minute, because now you're connecting the dots of why they had to do what they did with Al Jazeera in Israel, and they're
yeah,
like, we're
exactly.
putting you guys on hold. We're
How
putting
do
you on hold.
and how do you fight that?
It,
You know what
not
I'm saying?
but it's like you literally have hostages in our apartment, okay, and then on top of that you're surrounded by people once the moment, because here's the other thing that I think about. How is it that the special ops just walked right in there if
Yeah,
they look like white colonizers?
yeah. I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of things start unraveling when you start looking at a lot of this stuff, and it's like I want people to really think about it. These people are cousins, as we've always talked about. They showed up, shit hit the fan, and then the IDF showed up to blow everybody out of their way because they started shooting on the way out, not on
Yeah,
the way in. So
yeah.
clearly, it insane, just insane.
Like you said, and anybody, if you go look at my social media, you notice I don't post a whole lot about this.
Yeah,
And it's not because I don't care, or see what's going on. It's simply because I think so many people right now on social media are posting things that they don't have the full context to,
no,
or are just wrong, full, straight out wrong about the context.
yeah,
And I really got to a point. I posted a few things, and one I was just dead wrong, and the other one was just a bad source. And I was like, I just don't want to be a part of the problem right now. Like,
right,
I don't want to be one of the people posting about things that I don't know, I just don't know enough about right now. There's not enough information or whatever, and as we've said, I'll speak about things like from a military standpoint, very
right,
vaguely, but, I'm just really hesitant to trash on what people in Ukraine are having to do and even the
Right.
people in Israel are having to do, because I don't have all the information, and we don't, as much as everybody wants to think that we don't. And so I'm just giving that little bit of leeway to them and just kind of trying to not be part of the problem right now.
Right.
But we do address it on the show here and there. And if I ever see anything that I know is real and that I think is important enough, I post it. But outside of that, I just really don't want to be a part of the problem. And also I don't want to deal with any of the I want to use the right word. I don't want to deal with any of the blowback
Yeah.
from people misinterpreting anything that I post.
Yeah, because the temperature's really high. I
It's
mean,
so high right
and
now.
here in New York, like the fact that there was a protest at a exhibit for the Nova festival exhibit that they're traveling with, and you're like, what? You're literally protesting people who got slaughtered, the same people that probably are just as liberal as you are.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at everybody where I'm like, is everybody brainwashed right now? You're on trains here in New York talking about, are there Zionists? Get off the train. And it's like, so are we just going to start asking for papers? Is that really how far left we've gone? That
Is
you're going to
that
be the
is
new,
asking for papers a left thing?
I'm saying the Gestapo. It's, or your favorite girl, Gestapo, whatever she said, Gazpacho, Gazpacho.
Gazpacho? Yeah.
I'm saying anybody who becomes fascist, anybody, and asking for papers being the SS, they fell in line,
Thanks,
and
Michelle.
clearly we're seeing the left fall in line for this mission, whatever this is.
You know, it's one of the reasons I've really distanced myself. I've really just kind of started doing my own thing.
Yeah,
There's a 30-minute video on my YouTube channel. I left the Democratic Party over a year ago.
yeah,
And I did a video explaining all my reasons, showing my receipts of everything, because I wanted people to understand that, I'm leaving for personal reasons. Like, I'm not going to stay in a party that treats me and my family like crap. I'm not going to stay in a party that refuses to embrace somebody like me who has the potential to be one of their biggest social media influencers.
right.
And not only do they not embrace me, but they actually, make it harder for me to do what I'm trying to do.
They try to
Right.
shun you. They're
Yeah.
trying to shun
So
you.
it's like,
They really
okay, if
are.
you're gonna shun me and you're gonna talk all this trash about me, and you're not gonna help me, then why am I gonna belong to the party?
Right,
Like,
right.
so
Just
you go back, you
aimlessly
can see
following.
everything
No.
for the last year. I'm still
Yeah,
promoting Joe Biden. I'm still promoting Democrats, and I'm still gonna go vote for Democrats.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, the party treated me like shit. So if you want to know why people are becoming independent and people don't want to become Democrats, it's because they're just as bad as the right sometimes.
Right.
And I have receipts proving it. So you can be
Yeah.
mad at me for saying it, but I'm just telling you what my experience is. I think my actions speak louder than anything, which is, yeah, I left the party, but you can see that I still am doing my part as a liberal and trying to get the right people elected. But at the
Right.
end of the day, what I hope to see is I hope to see more people do what I did. And here's why. Because right now we have a two-party system, and I think the one thing that many of us, no matter what side of the aisle or where you fall in the party lines, is that this current two-party system isn't working. It doesn't represent the people well enough.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, there aren't even enough differences anymore to pick between the parties. The Republican Party is so freaking far gone and extreme one way, and then you have people on the left that are just as extreme the other way.
Right.
And it's like we need to find the middle ground here. The extremists are not the majority. I
No,
really
they're a
believe
loud,
that. They're
loud
loud
minority.
and they get
They're
a lot
loud.
of attention,
Right.
but they are not the majority. And
And
at
they both
some
understand social media. And that's why
that
you're
too.
seeing that.
They play the game.
Yeah.
So at some point, I really hope that we get to either. I think ranked choice voting is honestly going to be our best bet here in America. I I don't know why. I just don't see us getting to 5, 6, 8 viable political parties. I really just think with
It's what it used to
how,
be back in the day. Way
yeah,
back in the day.
but that is long gone.
Of
And so
course.
I think
Of course.
because of that, I really think ranked choice voting is going to be the best thing that we can do to improve our election our elections. Period.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um, I just I want to vote
But
for some.
you're also gonna get some Robert F. Kennedys, like more of those in the mix, and
Exactly.
you got to
Yeah.
be
You
ready
got
for
to pay
that.
attention.
You know what I
You
mean?
got
You
to
got
pay
to be ready
attention.
because that's gonna be thrown in the pot, and you're gonna be like,
Good point.
how did we end up with that? It's like
Yep.
shit,
And then you're like, oh, I'll put him third, and the next thing you know, he's president. What?
shit.
But no, I mean, everything has its pros and cons. But
Yes.
I think the Republican Democrat experiment has failed,
Right.
and we need to go. Okay, this isn't working for the majority anymore. We need to get serious and make some changes.
But
Whether
I
we
think
do
that
it or
falls on
not,
us. We need to stop
it
electing
falls on
idiots
us.
and putting them. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
this is the reality.
And you know
The
what? The
fact that we have
best thing we can
Marges
do.
and your girl Handy Lawrence, like, why do we have these people in there? You know what
Oh
I
my
mean?
God. Yeah. Oh, Lord
Handies and
Lord.
pardons. That's what I wrote to you. Handies and pardons. That's
Handies
who
and
that is.
pardons. But the best thing that we can do is if you want to start making some changes like this, if you're tired of the Supreme Court ruling against everyday Americans, then the best thing we can do is give Democrats a freaking supermajority. And that means make it them actually give them enough seats that they could actually amend the Constitution if they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
That they could actually stack the court and make it
Uh,
actually fair. Because if you go look there, I think right now, according to the way things are written and population, that we should be sitting at I think 13 Supreme
yeah.
Court justices right now.
hmm
So I mean, there's actually precedent in writing stating that we should have more Supreme Court justices, that we do not have enough for the current population in the
Right.
country.
Right.
So this it's not like we don't have something to stand on here. So if we want to get serious and we don't want to do it through a civil war, then we need to give the party that is actually trying to steer us in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I agree with everything they're doing, clearly, after what I just said, but between the two of them, they have the people that are trying to steer us in the right direction.
Yeah.
And we need to give them the tools that they need to get the job done. They are literally, we talk about fighting terrorists. The Democratic Party and liberals are literally fighting domestic terrorists. And they just had a freaking dog and pony show the other day, yesterday. If you didn't notice,
Right. Right.
Donald Trump was allowed on Capitol Hill after January 6th, and all the people that were standing around him, clapping and lifting him up, those are the domestic terrorists I keep talking about. Those are the enemies of the state. So those are the people that we need to pay attention to.
I just saw cuckold husbands. That's all I saw. But yeah, I do understand what you're saying. Like that's a thing. That's a thing. They just fell in line. Just complete all those alpha males wanting to just touch this man.
Well, what's going on in our comment section?
Oh, there's a fight.
Rochelle's a
There's a
friendly,
fight.
isn't she?
There's a fight. There's a fight going down.
What is going on?
There's a major fight going on. By the way, guys, like and subscribe because we have about 23,000 viewers plus right
Yes.
now going on. Hit the notification button. This show would not be anything without you guys. And I love that there's a big fight going on right now within the group chat.
I'm just like, Rochelle is handing somebody their ass.
Oh, there's many seats being handed out right now. And Rochelle's not playing. But it's this is it. Like we said,
Okay.
it's all here, Ryan. I
Yeah,
love how
man.
you just had this look. You're like, huh?
I was like, what is going on? um,
I thought the screen froze for a second. I thought, oh no, he's just reading. He's good. He's
so
good.
with that, it's been a long week. I appreciate you guys allowing me the space to get things wrong, and to say things that I wish I hadn't, and giving me the grace and being forgiving, and allowing me to stand on my soapbox and address it as well. So you guys
Absolutely.
are amazing. Like I said, I can't believe how fast everything is growing. The analytics are great. The fact that we have fans in different countries is crazy to me still. The fact that Ian's putting out music now on a regular basis. It's just amazing to see how our platform is growing, and it's all because of you guys. It's all because of everybody that listens and engages, and even the haters. We see you and love you too.
Hey man,
But
y'all can get a hug.
but I'm much more.
Come to Brooklyn.
I'm much more focused on the people that love us and support us, and there's so many of you out there. And like I always say, and I will tell you every time you see my face, I do not take your support for granted at all.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for everything you do for Ian and I, but also my family. When things go a little sideways and people start crossing lines, you guys are out there and I honestly, most time I don't have to even say anything. You guys just jump in and start calling it out. So, I can't tell you from the standpoint of somebody who has a following online and gets so much crap. I can't tell you how much that means to me.
Ooh, you got some fans in here, man. You got some people. They
Yeah,
watch your back.
but
You can
yeah,
see it.
the people
You can
that
see it.
watch my back, like I see you guys. Like even
Yeah.
if I don't get to like the comment or I don't get to directly respond, I see you. So thank you.
You feel the love. That's one thing I do love about this show, though, Ryan, is that we definitely take shots at anybody. We're not really biased in the context. Yes, we both lean left, but
Yeah,
shots are fired. And it does. We allow each other to unpack and really let some things kind of simmer live on air.
yeah, and I think too, what I like is, I don't know if you get direct messages, but I get direct messages of people, and they'll be like, oh, you actually started a good conversation, for us at dinner. And
Yeah.
those ones always kind of tickle me a little bit because I'm like, wow, really? Like what Ian and I were talking about, like started a whole conversation at your dinner table? Like,
Yeah.
wow, that's like to me that speaks volumes. I think that's a huge compliment. Because that's the point, right? Like we keep saying, our goal isn't, we don't want you to follow us like some lemmings or anything. We
No, I
want
want
you
you
to
to
watch
challenge us.
because,
Definitely.
well, yeah, if we need challenging, absolutely, but we also want you to watch because we try to be informational. We don't just drop our
Right.
feelings on you without any kind of receipt to back it up. And we always tell you, go Google it. Don't just take our word for it. Like if I'm telling you about a candidate, and endorsing a candidate, don't just take my word for it. Go read up on them. Like, go watch a debate they did. Don't
Right.
just, oh, Ryan said I should donate to him, so I'm going to go donate. Like, no, I'm telling you, go read up, and if there's somebody that you think you should donate to, then donate. If you're
I'm going to
tired
tell
of,
you, go donate to Ryan, though. I'm going to say it. So, yes, there it
no, but
is.
seriously,
Like,
go donate to Sean Harris because I want to see Marjorie
yeah,
Taylor
yeah.
Greene out of Congress. And
Yeah, it's time. It's
there's a
time.
good man running against her. His name is Sean Harris in Georgia. If you
Look
have
him
a
up.
few, yeah, if
Look
you
him
have a
up.
few bucks you want to get rid of, go read up on him. I think you'll be equally as impressed as I have been. And send him a few bucks so that he can send Marjorie Taylor Greene a packing.
100%. 100%.
So last thing we're going to talk about before we get into the positives is I got to bring up Elon Musk. So, what did you think of the Tesla board giving him his $56 billion bonus?
I think that he made his threats, and I think he had some cronies in there. Elon is the brand, for Tesla. Like I don't
That's it.
I couldn't tell you one person that's on the board. I couldn't tell you one person that stands out. The people that were impactful on that in that company, they left and they teamed up and created and built up Lucid Motors. So the real geniuses left, so it seems like an empty shell of a company that's just like, look, he made a deal with them, and they're like, we want to keep him around,
Yeah.
because he's playing with his little space rockets and his little internet backpacks that he's handing over to Russia. It's
I'm I'm so glad you said that though because I really feel like that when people say why is Trump still around? I don't think it's because he's great at anything. I think it's because so many people invested in him that
yeah,
they can't afford to let their investment fail.
yeah, yeah.
And I think Elon Musk is the same way. So many people have invested in
It's
this
top
man,
heavy. It's very
whether
top
it be
heavy.
through buying Tesla stock or supporting SpaceX or giving him
Absolutely.
money to buy X with, wherever you fall in that in that echelon of people that helped him get here,
Yeah.
you have invested your time and money into a man that now it turns out to be an extremist nutbag, but you have so much tied up into him, you can't afford to let him fail.
But keep in mind too, they just watched him tank Twitter, so he's capable of tanking Tesla, and he threatened to tank Tesla. So
Yeah,
it's like,
I
it.
mean,
it
in my opinion, he already is. Like the Cybertruck.
oh my God,
Dude, did I tell? I'm gonna post it up. That's gonna be my positive.
good.
But Dominic, we saw the Cybertruck when we went to go get his eye exam. And he said that looks like something out of my Roblox game.
I bet you we got the
Bro,
idea. Just high off ketamine, just like just like Roblox. Oh yeah, I'm making
I'm
car.
telling you, bro. Like, it had me dying. I
It's
was
so
like,
left from all his other models, which haven't changed in 10 years,
yeah,
right?
nothing.
The only thing they changed was like the tail lights. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's like it's so priceless to see that. And I saw one recently. And I go, oh god, they really are weird up front. They're just weird, and they're
Yeah,
not
they're
holding
just
up
weird.
well.
They're
They're
not.
not holding up.
They're not, and they're not going to. Like I said, any vehicle that the accelerator is so cheap that it slips up and starts to get stuck in the down position, yeah, I'll pass. Any
Yeah.
vehicle that has been recalled multiple times because the self-driving software might drive you off a cliff, yeah, I think I'm going to pass on that.
God.
You know, we're not even
The
talking about
stainless
the
steel that
battery
rust.
replacements.
You're like,
Yeah,
I'm not
a
doing this.
vehicle that you can't run through the car wash and needs like more maintenance than my skin. Fuck,
You need some cocoa butter on that truck.
dude. Like the warranty
Yeah.
is so funny. It's like if you ding that thing accidentally, it's like that's not covered.
Forget it. Forget
It's crazy.
it. Forget it.
But
Just forget it.
so for those
So
of you
he's
who
doing
don't,
his money though. He's due his money. So we'll see what happens. See
yeah,
how long
well,
this
you know,
lasts.
at least he can pay the people back for Twitter now.
Woo.
But the interesting thing is, like you said, he's tanking Twitter.
Yeah.
Like you will never explain to me in a way that I understand that somebody would buy a platform like Twitter that is so ingrained in people's daily lives and our vernacular,
Right.
right? Like Twitter was so ingrained, we called them tweets. Like people still call it Twitter. I don't call it X.
No, it's no matter what, even in the news, it's like
Yeah.
X, formerly known as
Twitter,
It's-
formerly, you know, or yeah, X formerly known as Twitter or whatever,
Yeah.
or Twitter now known as X.
Yeah.
Like
you
however they
failed. You
phrase it.
failed. The
Yeah,
branding
yeah.
is gone. It's gone.
So it's like you bought a company for $44 billion,
Yeah.
and it's a social media company which literally is based on the brand, and you tanked it. Like you completely tanked it. Like there, and then you take away features, you make it a pay to play platform. You know, you make it so easier for porn to stay on the platform. You know, you say, oh, we're going to get rid of the bots, but then the bots increase threefold.
Yeah.
You know, like
The amount of racism that's on there, 500%.
so that's
within
what
the
he did
first
this
month.
week. So this week he made a move that is so messed up. Like I don't think people understand truly how messed up this move is. So he made it so that you can't see who likes posts anymore.
Oh.
Now,
Oh.
for anybody wondering why somebody might
So
do
we
that,
got digital cloaks now. We bringing back.
he gave them back their
Interesting.
matter of fact.
We got their white cloaks back. Okay. All right.
I said that Elon gave them back their white hoods.
Oh, look how, and I didn't even see this. Oh, I love this. We think alike.
Oh man, where is it? Because the tweet actually freaking went off. Yeah, no, he made it. I'm actually here's one. So here's the kind of stuff that I can actually show it on here. I forgot. So the Hodge twins are a special kind of brothers, and they're right wing people, and they said
Are they the tokens?
Yeah, can you read that for me so I don't have to?
I cannot see it. But no, if you zoom in, I'll say anything you need me to say. Well, that's not true. Make saying gay, retard, nigger, faggot great again. What is wrong?
You see how many people liked it when I screenshot it though?
39,000 at that time.
So now before you could go into that post and you could see who liked it. So you could pull up the accounts and say, oh, so Elon liked that post.
This post.
So
now
what was
it's all
happening
incognito.
what was happening was people were going on accounts like Elon's and his, there was an actual tab you could go to that said likes, and you could click it and you could see every post that Elon liked. So it's just kind of like,
but just a level of ignorance that I just spewed of reading this shit.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry.
Your likes are private. Only you can see them. So this is what you would normally see. You would be able to go to the likes of any account, and you'd be able to pull up and see what they liked, and what that tells you a lot about what somebody's views are.
Right,
So
right,
if they're
right.
constantly liking, the racist, ridiculous stuff, it would show up here. And what was happening was people would go on to somebody's account like Elon's, and they would take the
See what
screenshots
he's liking.
of the stuff that he was liking, and it really was
Oh,
telling not a very good. It was painting a not
got
good
it.
picture of Elon and other people. There were
Got
people
it.
losing their jobs
Got
because
it.
it was being seen what they like. So Elon now is making it so that nobody can see the racist, bigoted shit that you like on
Right.
social media anymore. So
Yeah, that's some trash.
so like I said, he gave them their white hoods back.
Yeah. Oh, well played. Well, I mean, as in calling it what it is, man. That's so true.
Oh, and then
Well, those were
so
Bigsby right there. That's some Dave Chappelle skit right there. Those
yeah,
whatever those two are. So blind black Klansmen right there. That's what that is.
yeah, it's just really crazy what is going on right now. This is another one. This chick actually freaking ratioed the crap out of me.
This
This
is
Lily
the baby
chick.
baby Karen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, she posted this just 3 hours ago.
Mm.
So she's still going.
Y'all are
Like
canceling me, but not this nigga fag. Okay. Okay.
like that's all she has. I don't think she has an actual brain.
Well,
Um,
the thing that gets me is like, this is where the "stop making stupid people famous" segment comes in to
yes,
play, right?
this Lily
Why,
chick is that.
you know what I mean? Why is this trash at all becoming newsworthy? Where it's like, you know what, bury it, just bury these people. Like
Yep.
you're not offering anything to the conversation. I get if you want to have a real debate, look, we can have a real debate. Should somebody at a certain age who does do transition be able to compete at a certain level? We should be able to have an open conversation about something, right?
Yeah.
That's food for thought for everyone.
Mhm.
Okay, if you start before puberty versus after puberty, well, what bracket does that put you in? And great, have at it, have a great time. But at the same time, whenever they hijack the conversation, they really twist it, and you see this like weird fetish, like this weird fetish that comes out of their
No, that's the
talking
right word.
points. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
Yep.
it's like, and they do. They really kind of run with it, and you're like, what? Why
Yeah.
is
Why?
that what you're thinking? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Why is
where's
that
that
where
where you're
your
going
head's
with it?
at?
But if you want to look at the data of it, and you're like, okay, no, like, yeah, maybe LeBron James shouldn't be playing in the WNBA. Like, okay, there's a certain level that you have to look at, but it's like, okay, this shit, she offers nothing to humanity, and she'll probably end up on Fox News
Yeah.
or worse in the White House with
That's
Trump
what
because
I think I said something like she's the next Tommy Lahren in training or something.
oh my god, and
She's
that
been
being
getting
like,
roasted too, though. Like people are
oh,
making fun of.
I
Like
didn't even realize that she
I
still
don't see
existed.
now these kind of people. I don't mind making fun of these people. Like
Right,
I'll make fun of somebody like her all day.
right,
Like
right.
she's got a big old nose.
Oh my god, it's something else, man. I mean, there's just whatever that demographic is, whatever
Ugh,
that they're not offering anything to the conversation.
I
If you
know.
can't have a real just debate about something,
Well, and you went viral and you lost your job for using the N word as a white woman.
is that what she did? Is that what Tommy Lauren did?
No, this Lily
Oh,
chick.
this. Oh,
Yeah,
got it, got
they
it, got it,
fired her.
got it,
She lost her damn
got it.
job. So it's
Her
like
actual job.
you're famous for being a bigot and losing your job. And now you're going on the internet doubling, tripling down and using the word all over the place because you know it upset people and
Yeah,
you're laughing and going, "Oh, look at the left, look at the libtards." Da, 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 da. It's like it's not just liberals, it's just decent human beings that are looking at
yeah.
you, calling you out for your ridiculous behavior.
Has anybody checked on her mental health?
Exactly. I'm bipolar and I don't act like these people. Like,
Yeah,
what is their excuse?
dropped on their head.
Something.
I mean,
Jesus.
it really is one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you're like, the internet is forever, and this is gonna follow you, and one day you're gonna have, maybe not have a family, whatever the case is, the
Yeah.
scenario plays out for you. God don't like ugly, but keep it going. Just keep it going.
Yep.
And regardless of whatever happens, it's like that's gonna be the stain that's on you. Lead paint. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Lead paint. That's what
What
it
does
is.
this guy say? Oh, I'm not putting that up. All right. Anyway, so what's your positives for the week?
So this is the first official week that I joined TikTok. You've been asking me for months You've been demanding for months.
Demanding is more, yeah, that's a better word.
Demanding, and here's I'm gonna shamelessly plug. It's Sherman BK. Come find me.
Yeah.
I got to get these numbers up, okay? So I
For some
officially
reason,
did
it's
it.
showing like your camera is backwards. It's not reading.
It's backwards.
Yeah.
So
That's
Sherman _BK, right? That's what my handle is. Come follow me because I want to debate some folks. I spent, this is my positive. I spent the week listening to debates that unfold and take place, and they're doing what we do, and I'm like, wow. Some of these conversations are really intelligent. Some of these conversations completely ignorant. And I go, and some of them just lack complete substance. Like there's just no actual information,
Yeah.
right? And I was amazed by some of the conservative conversations because I was like, I'll go across all channels. And I just sat there surfing and I was just taking in what this app was. And I posted a couple of things. But I would love for all the fans here, hell, even you haters, come check me out because I'm really down the middle. You don't know what I'm thinking. You really don't.
And we got to get him to 1,000 followers so that he can go live, and then him and I can start going live on.
Oh, that's what it's. I'm learning the rules.
We can start doing specials on TikTok.
I'm learning the rules, and it's so funny because I got roasted by somebody. They're like, "Here's Ian asking once again that you want to join this conversation." They go, "You need to have a number behind you. So why don't you come back with your real account?" I go, "Oh, you think I'm a troll? No, I'm literally just brand new to this."
Yeah, I'm
just
so
here I am. Yeah, I'm like, why is it I can show my dick on Zoom, but I can't do anything here? Like, what's going on? Jokes come in threes, baby. Jokes come in threes, all right?
So that'll be something that Ian and I will do. We will do one special episode a month on TikTok only. You just got to we just got to get him to 1,000
Get my
followers,
numbers up, baby. Help me get on to start some shit with Ryan. But that's my positive. So I got it. I got in the game, and I started already playing on it and learning about it. But it's hilarious. So thank you, China. I appreciate it. Enjoy my data.
Right.
Cheers to you.
Yeah. Well, Elon Musk is sending my ID over to a company in Israel, so it's all good.
So Ryan, type what mine is. Sherman. Excuse me.
Violation
Sherman.
warning, harassment and bullying.
Who? What?
See, I'm not going live on TikTok anymore. They just gave me a live violation for harassment and bullying.
Well, you should be nicer to Elon Musk, okay? Don't talk about his money like that.
Every time I start talking about him, they freaking mass report me. No bullshit.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. He's a fan. He's actually quietly liking your stuff.
No, it doesn't surprise me.
Peg, I see you. Thank you so much. I did. I saw you hit me up. Appreciate you. Ryan, can you type this in the group chat so people could see it?
Yeah.
My last name, Sherman, SHERMAN _BK. That is Brooklyn, baby. BK. Okay. Boom. That's where you guys can find me. Check me out. Hit me up.
There you go.
Putting music. I'll be definitely putting a lot more music out there. I'll be doing some more fun videos, and I'll start shooting some stuff around New York so you guys can see some of the chaos. And the kayaking that I'm actually getting ready to do will be posted on that channel on all social media. But I'll be starting. Hopefully, can go live and do that.
Yep.
Okay, then I appreciate it.
Kaylin also put the link to Spotify, so if anybody in the comment sections wants to click that will take you right to his music. So,
check it out. Roast me. I want to hear it, man. Talk the trash. Let me know what you guys think, what you hate, what you like, whatever.
No, be kind though. Be kind. People are sensitive about their shit.
On that side of the screen.
That was my Erykah Badu reference, by the way.
I love it.
I'm sensitive about my shit.
I'm sensitive about my shit.
Yeah, shout out
man.
Eric.
What's your positive, my man?
My positive is so I had a video go off on Twitter, and it just made my day. So I figured I would just show the video for everybody so that we could all bask in this perfect video that was done by 5 o'clock mommy on TikTok. So shout out to 5 o'clock mommy on TikTok. She's the one that came up with this amazing video. So
here's why the Cybertruck is the perfect mom and family car. First of all, huge back trunk. With the tonneau cover, you never have to worry about all your kids' stuff getting wet or your groceries. Everything stays nice and dry.
So good. So good.
The doors open to 90 degrees, which is super great for loading in kiddos. Even with 2 car seats in the back and my 6'3" husband in the front, I still got plenty of room.
It's seat 7.
Another great mom feature is all the space in this truck. I love this tray down here, which is perfect for a diaper bag or a purse. And check this out, a hidden drawer for anything important.
Oh my God, where did that come from? Did you know that was there?
But best of all, you look like a total badass driving your kids around in this.
When you become a parent, no one thinks you're badass. In fact, my kids tell me I'm cringe every day.
So spot on, man. It is so spot on.
I love this. That's the part of TikTok I love. Like, I know that I'm part of the political side and everything, but man, it's so nice to just be able to let that go and surf and see great videos like that are just so creative. And
Which is so tasteful how to troll.
it is. It's
even Elon,
perfect. Like, I wish I was that creative and to troll people. Like, I just go right to calling them names.
Getting banned.
Yeah, getting banned like I just did. Hey, Brian, we'd love to have him on the show. If you have a connection to Brooklyn Dad, yeah, I'd love to have him on the show. I'm going to talk to Ian about it first, but hopefully I have somebody that I want to bring on the show. So as long as Ian approves. But I'm going to give him a shout out anyway. Christian Ortiz, he's a friend of mine who's done some work for me in the past when I was running for office. And he's amazing at doing videography and stuff like that, but he's also started something called Justice AI. So he's basically created an AI system that piggybacks off of ChatGPT that is more focused on social justice issues and being unbiased, because he went and found out how biased the existing
AI is right now. Yeah. Well, look what it's learning from. You know.
Exactly. So he's literally trying to tackle that. So I think it would be a great episode for us to do. But also, like I said, he's just a good dude that's been supporting me for a long time and does good work. So Christian Ortiz, good dude. Mod Atlas is his company, and I believe he's based out of Houston, Texas. I believe it is. I know he's in Texas now. But yeah, no, amazing dude. Hope if Ian's good with it, we'll bring him on the show, introduce him to y'all, and the great work that he's doing. But with that, you got anything else, brother?
No, man. Y'all have a happy Father's Day. Definitely.
Yes. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Have a great time, and even to all the moms who are, happy Father's Day to you single mothers.
Yep.
I was raised by a single mom, so I always give her a shout out. I always tell her she's the best dad I ever knew. She always got a good giggle out of that. And, this is it, man. This is time to just be with the fam and have a good time, man.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, man. I don't think I have much else this week. Make sure you follow, subscribe to all of our platforms. Go check out Ian on TikTok and Spotify. Make sure you download all of our podcast episodes if you're on iTunes or Spotify.
And hit the notifications, man. Know when we're coming out.
Man,
Because there's going to be more stuff coming.
You don't miss anything. And here's something, too. If there's somebody that you think you want us to bring on the show, put it in the DMs. I'd like to see who you guys would like to see on the show. Maybe we can go out there and get them to come on.
Hey, man. Can they handle Kaylin? Can they get past her?
Yeah,
she's going to stop them at the door.
Kaylin will be the booker/moderator.
But we appreciate you guys, man. This would not exist without you. So we really appreciate you.
Yeah, seriously. And, it's been a rough couple weeks on my end, social media with doxing and harassment and stuff. And like I said, the amount of support, my wife goes in there and sees it too, you guys. So like she just chooses not to get involved in it, but she goes in the comment sections and sees all your guys' comments and support, for her too. So I think she would be okay with me saying thank you on her behalf as well. I know it makes me feel good knowing that you guys support us and actually care about what these people do and say. So it means a lot to me. Thank you for supporting us as always. But the most important thing.
Happy Father's Day to you, brother.
Oh, it's Happy Father's Day to you too. Yes. May we all do a little bit better than our fathers before us. Yeah. My dad always said, I want you to be better than me. I don't want you to be the same as me. And I hope I'm a little bit better dad than he was. So
that's what's up, man.
Yeah. With that said, happy Father's Day to everybody. Hope you guys get to spend some time with loved ones. I hope the fathers out there get to have at least one day of sitting down with your feet up. If you're one of the dads out there that work, 6 days a week, 12 hours days and stuff like that, put your feet up, relax, take the day off. It's okay. But the most important thing, guys, much love, keep fighting, and please stay safe out there. I know things are getting a little rougher out there right now, and it's probably going to continue until November. So let's just stay safe, because the most important thing is coming home to your loved ones, right? So with that,